Hello, everybody, and welcome back to First Ring Daily. Before we kick things off, we've got a brand new sponsor. And actually, this is pretty legit because the timing is perfect. As we all know, on January 14th by 2020, Windows 7, and also later this year, Office 2010 are going to come to an end. And you need to start thinking about shifting and migrating away from those aging platforms. They are not good, and they're going to be out of support. And if you're listening to this podcast, you should know that. But if you're in an enterprise or small business environment, you really need to start planning your migration because that deadline, Mr. Paul Thurrott, is going to be here before you know it. And there'll be links down below to migration resources that are going to help make that possible.
I just like that you worked the word shift into that.
Yeah, because it is shifting, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's shifting.
Yep. Shifting is happening.
It is happening. It is happening. Also, speaking of things that are finally happening, this is far more exciting than it should be. But pretty soon, Mr. Paul Thurrott, you're going to be able to buy more OneDrive storage. It's happening.
Yeah, and in typical Microsoft fashion, it's happening in baby steps, unfortunately. But at least it's happening because a lot of people have been complaining for a long time now that 1 terabyte's the limit, and to get that, you have to buy an Office 365 subscription, which, by the way, is an incredible deal. But yeah, they're finally adding some storage tiers. Did you notice what they're not doing though?
No.
So they're topping out. Like you can't keep going past 2 terabytes. So if you look at the Google One offering, what you'll see is the same pricing. I didn't actually, maybe you know this off the top of your head. Does Microsoft offer an annual discount? So if you pay for a terabyte, you get it for less money than if you paid monthly?
I didn't see that in the information we were sent because I believe it was $9.99 for 1 terabyte, but that's per month on top of your Office 365 storage.
Right. So Google has the same pricing on Google One, but if you pay annually, you can save money. It's $99, which is a great deal. Also, they go, I don't remember the exact numbers, but I think it's like 10, 20, and 30 terabytes. So you could pay Google $300 a month for storage if you wanted to.
Yeah. Yeah, which again doesn't make sense because
no. But the ability to arbitrarily go in 1 terabyte increments, I think, makes sense, and I think there should be a reduction in price as you go up, right? So I guess doubling the max that they had before is great. I wish there was an annual savings because I would take advantage of that personally. But sometime in the next year, I mean, I'm almost certainly going to have to start paying for this because I'm eking right up against that 1 terabyte limit already.
Yeah, it's frustrating. I'm happy that they are doing this, but I wish that you could get more than additional terabyte. Not that I think that I need it. I mean, eventually maybe because we take hundreds of millions of photos every day. Yeah. But again, you're going to get to that 2 terabyte limit, and then you're going to be like, you get that storage anxiety in the cloud, and I
mean, I should probably write this up. It's not particularly easy to manage, but if you think about it as an individual, you could buy an Office 365 home subscription, set up 5 different Microsoft accounts, right? And just, use one for photos, one for backup photos, one for whatever. I mean, you could do that. The interoperability between them is not seamless, right? I mean, it's really designed for family, obviously, but I suppose that's one little workaround. If you had special storage needs, like, I'm trying to imagine what that might be. Yep. A giant library of pirated DVD rips or something. I'm sure they don't even look at what's up there. I have no idea, but I guess you could do that.
Yeah. Yep. Mine is just photos. I mean, that's purely.
Mine is space. Well, I have 2 things in there. I at some point, I think it was after. Actually, I don't remember exactly when this was. There was OneDrive in Windows 8 had that placeholders feature. And when Windows 8 kind of came and went, they got rid of it. And at that time, I started looking at moving to Dropbox. But Dropbox storage is very expensive. So I started using OneDrive as kind of an archive type thing where I had all of my old stuff from the past, like my work documents and everything, going back literally to the mid-90s up in OneDrive. Then, of course, OneDrive, eventually they fixed it. So now I use OneDrive exclusively, and I just use OneDrive for everything. So I have all of my work stuff. I mean, the folder set I create to work on every day, the stuff that I'm working on for the site, for the book, whatever, all goes through OneDrive. And then I'd have to go look and see like what's taking up the most space. But I think like you, it's probably photos, but I have a ton of other stuff up there too. Yeah.
So if that's been holding you back, you can now go do that, or at least depending on where you are located in the world and when it rolls out and when it actually becomes available in your area. But eventually, soon, maybe, you should be able to finally be able to do that. So, yeah.
Yes.
Yes, and then if you've also been holding off or wanting to install iOS 13, you can now do that.
Yeah.
Although the Twitters tells me I shouldn't. I have not done it yet. Apparently this
So
beta is pretty rough. I know you've installed it. How's it worked for you?
I have never found any Apple beta to be rough, personally. I had thought that they were waiting for beta 3. Beta 3 is going to come out probably a week from now. It's not that far, like the beginning of July. Maybe it gets pushed back a little bit because of the holiday. And then usually a week after that is when they ship the public beta. So this was actually kind of a surprise to me. I installed the beta 2 versions of iOS 13, iPadOS 13, and Mac OS Catalina. I haven't had any problems with any of those things, but the only one I actually use every day legitimately is the iPad. And it's very light. I mean, I use it for reading.
Yeah.
I use it for reading. Actually, that's all I use it for at home. So, I mean, I've been playing around with it on the iPhone. I will tell you the dark mode. Well, you don't like dark mode. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I still give it a chance. I got to tell you, I love dark mode on iOS. It's one of those things you see it and you wonder why they waited so long. But I guess the way I would say it is, remember with iOS 7, they went to that stark white.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it like this is like the relief from that. You know, it's the same UI, but it looks so much better dark.
I don't know. See, I can't read a lot of text when it's on black and white. I just turn the brightness way down.
Okay. I would still just look at it. I mean, that's all. I mean, I would just look at it.
I don't want to tell you you're wrong, but just give it another.
No, I don't mean you're wrong. I mean, no. Listen, I'm very sensitive to bright lights, so for me, this is like I said, a relief. I mean, I get it. Like if it's not good for you, it's just not good for you. But I guess I don't mean try it because you're an idiot and you're really going to like it. I mean, just look at it because I think you'll find it interesting even if you don't use it.
We'll see. I have not downloaded it. I've held off, but now I'm more tempted to.
Yeah, it is. Here's what I can tell you. So I have access to the Apple Developer Program, and so I believe what that means is I can go. Well, you should be able to do this too, but you can download like the retail version of the OS, like whatever 12.4 or whatever the latest one is. I guess the question is if you do this and it doesn't work, it's kind of a one-way street. So I think you might have to restore your iPhone to get it back. So actually, maybe that's the solution. Just do a backup to iTunes.
The thing is though, is like I don't even know what I back up, candidly, because all my photos go up into Google Photos with a backup into OneDrive. So it's not like I need those back. The only thing that I really need is iMessage, like the chat threads. That's the only thing that needs to be backed up, which I think I can do just through iCloud, and then that's it.
It probably is happening automatically, but I guess my point, the point of the backup isn't because you have to get crucial data back. It's you use this thing and you're like, oh, something doesn't work. The web browser crashes all the time. I can't even use it, whatever it is. And you just restore it and it just goes back to the way it was. Like it's just a way to go back. You know what I mean? It's not about saving your data. I mean, obviously that stuff should all be backed up to the cloud. It's just, if you're using it, and you're like, it doesn't really work. At least you can go back to whatever the current version is.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. You never know. Maybe not. Actually, I got a busy afternoon. So what better time to trash your phone than when your phone's on the agenda, right?
Did I do this? Yeah, I installed. I can't remember. I have trouble with details. I think I installed the latest Android beta while I was on a trip, and then was using that phone. But I do that kind of thing all the time. It's okay. Yeah. What could go wrong?
It was probably during like an Apple keynote too, if you were on a trip, because that's what you're really good at doing, is being on some sort of mode of transportation.
Yeah,
significant
exactly.
industry event.
Should I install this on the plane while I'm offline? Yeah, why not?
Yeah, what could go wrong? I've only got 9% battery life. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah.
So, you got anything else for today?
Not really. If you haven't seen it, I posted a response to Bill Gates' claim about his biggest mistake. He's an idiot. He's wrong. That's about it, I guess. I'm trying not to I have so many, the programming Windows thing I'm doing. I have so many articles that I could just publish. This thing is going to be bigger than I thought. There's so much information. So I'm trying not to publish one every single day, but I could almost do that for a while and become completely obsessed by it. I'm trying really hard not to do that, but
some people would be obsessed by it, and good.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's really interesting. And I will say, going back and looking at this information again, rereading magazine articles, programming books, normal books about the industry of the day, I was reminded of the real problem with Bill Gates, which has nothing to do with Windows Phone, which has informed that article.
Yeah.
Just a little tie in there, I guess. How about you, Brad? What's going on in your life?
The only thing that's going on in my life is that enable better protection and simplified IT support for your business as Windows 7 and Windows 10 reach their end of life. We'll have the appropriate links down below. Make sure to click that, learn more, all that good stuff. I thought that was a pretty good tie in there.
That was a good segue. That was nice.
Microsoft 365 stuff that's going to be happening the rest of the week, folks. Make sure to give them some love for supporting us, supporting migration.
I would like to give them more love. I wish they would make a Microsoft 365 for consumers.
Yeah,
You
maybe
know?
they will. Maybe they will. All right, folks, well, that wraps it up for today. Have yourselves a wonderful Tuesday, and we'll catch you right back here next time.